this. Go ahead. We're gonna get it from you.
And I agree. It's like, it's a, to me, being in love is like a lot of things. Like, to me, it's like, it's describable, it's indescribable. Cause when I think of like being in love, like I'm in love with you, you know that.
Aww.
Like, so some days it's like, so some days it's like I could be having like a terrible day and like everything going on, and like I could just talk to her and like everything is like good. It's kind of like a need in a sense, but like I know like literally I don't need you, but I do need you, and it's kind of like being in love is like you get lost within yourself. Like like me doing this 12 days of Christmas, like I've never done no shit like that before, like ever.
Oh, y'all
wait,
doing
what y'all doing?
I did see it. It was so cute. Oh,
That is cute. Yeah.
Wait, so what was,
That's
explain
lit.
the whole
I think it's a
12-day
sacrifice
Christmas thing. What
That's
y'all
just
talking
something they
about?
That's
got
what it
going on
is.
that they
It-
doing
it's
because they in
sacrificing.
love.
All right, hold on, wait. Let me see what the 12 days of Christmas,
Right, what is
what you
that?
mean?
Oh, I mean, well,
Something that she came up with it clearly. You came up with it. See?
yeah, she's in our short time, we know each other since high school, and we've had our own separate.
We known each other since we was 13, y'all.
We had our own separate relationship.
I was real cute.
We always been cool. We always been friends first, like legit friends. When she was married and I had my relationship and I had my kids, like we stayed in touch. So it was always a level of love that we had for each other. So that is like a foundation in itself or whatever. So just like shit, I don't know. Like, what was the question?
It was what was being in love.
Oh, the 12 days of Christmas.
But
Oh, that
being in love with the 12 days of Christmas.
Like she's super solid and like for real. Like for me, like the holidays, like I bust my ass. Like I had 4 kids, so like at one point I was working 3 jobs. So like I will spend my last to make sure like they're
That's what's up.
good. Like I'm happy. Like I don't necessarily want anything. So for me, even though like the material shit don't really equate to what the point I'm trying to get her to understand how I feel about her, it's a symbolization. So like each day has been like something like little stuff. Like I know her, so like I just been wanting to hit her off like with just stuff, and like on her own separate account, like collectively we've gone through some heartaches and she's dealt with some losses, and like, you know, this time last year like wasn't really a celebratory time for her, so it was important for me to show her that it was important for her to have a great holiday season and to show another form of love, so that was important for me.
Right.
So trying out. So trying out new things and creating
And that's a new thing,
new
like
memories.
being vulnerable. Like
Gotta be vulnerable.
I knew like when I told my best friend is a female for like platonic, like never, we just always been platonic, like straight shooter. She's a Gemini. I was like, yo, see, I'm gonna do 12 days, cause she was like, first he said like, nigga, you're gonna go broke. And I was like, I can't do nothing big every day. Like I gotta do something that's from the heart every day.
And it don't
And it's
So-
been,
And it don't
and
gotta
it's
be
been,
money.
and it's
gotta
been
And it don't
love.
have to be. It don't have
And
to be. That's
it's
the.
been love.
And I knew that knowing her, she knows my heart, and she knows it's gonna be heartfelt, and that's the main thing. Like everything is gonna equate. So that smile every day, like it's meant a lot. So.
Look at y'all on TV. I love y'all. Y'all so cute.
Y'all need to BT Black Love.
I heard you, Jerry.
Oh, all right, good. Quit that. Come
I
on,
think
that song shit.
but real shit though, that's where that sacrifice come in. And again, he does things all the time that just randomly makes me fall in love with him all over again. This is a man who got his own apartment. You know what I'm saying? He got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's provided for all 4 of his kids, and then he got to take care of his household and pay a car note and pay rent and pay these things. And it's like you still was able to like take enough time to make sure that 12 days leading up to Christmas Day, like I received something, whether it was fucking a bad friend with rose petals or my chain with his initial on there. Like he took the time to like plan this shit for me and like consult with his friends and shit like that. Like that's love. Like that's love.
Right. That is,
you know, because real shit. Like we went through some hard shit last year.
Shit.
We went through some hard shit last year. Like Y'all don't know, but I lost both my parents last year while I was pregnant with his son.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I lost my father in September. I lost my mother in October. I had our son in January.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was right there with me through all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like me and him even had our own shit. So the holidays just wasn't good for me because it wasn't even good for me and him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this year it's just different. It's just different. You know, that shit mean the world to me.
So do you feel like y'all being friends and knowing each other for so long
Fuck yeah.
helped y'all to have a relationship? Would it be different?
Messengers. We got messages in our Facebook messages was like, "Happy anniversary, sis.
Yeah.
I see you got a new kid, bro.
Yeah.
I love you. Like Merry Christmas." Like we dated in 9th, 10th grade for like 2 weeks. He broke up with me. He asked me out. Then 2 weeks later, he broke up with me. But like we've legit known each other since we was 13, and like we've been cool. Like, we've been cool. We used to talk on the phone in high school and everything.
That friend foundation is a lot.
Me in the world, too.
That, I think a lot of people get in love with the attraction and the infatuation stage. And, like, once that shit is not brand new anymore, like, you gotta have something else. You gotta have something, like, legit. Like, you could be, the sex can be bomb. You can be eye candy as fuck. If I can take you out, I can boast you off. But for me, intellectually, if you can't, like, stimulate me up this month, like, it's not going to work. And, like, me and her been watching Martin, like, the past week. Like, we've been watching old ass episodes, like, the past 2 weeks. You do learn a lot from Martin. And it be, like, we've seen the episode, like, 100 times. And we sitting there just laughing, like, cracking the fuck up. Like, the next day we're joking about it. It's just, like, the little things. So it's, like, we could kiki it, like, we, you know what I'm saying, good homies, but, you know. And
I wasn't supposed to cry on the
I know. I'm not gonna look at you no more. For real.
It's too late. Yes.
Whatever. So having a bond is important to people. Y'all would say.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So is it a struggle having a relationship with someone you just met and y'all get into a quick? Are you a person to get into a relationship soon, or do you like to try to feel that person out and date for a while, or?
I want to feel that person out before I actually get into a relationship.
Well, I mean, man, you were dating for a year.
I can't just hop into a relationship with somebody. It's another thing to just have sex with the person, but to actually be in a relationship, a committed relationship, and actually want to be with you, it takes a while for me to get there. That's just me.
And you saying that you're saying that as a woman who lived by yourself. Granted, you might be in a relationship or whatever the fuck you got going on.
Exactly.
But you don't have no children. You know what I'm saying? It'd be completely different when you got a child now.
You mean when you coming into the relationship?
Hell
with all that, right?
You don't want people around your kids.
Yeah.
When you live by yourself, you don't want everybody in your home. You know, your space is sacred.
I think
it's your sacred space, and not everybody is worthy of being in your space.
As a single woman too, it's the same thing. It's like I don't want everybody to be in my space. I don't, just because I like you doesn't mean I want you to come to my house and be with me. We can go out and that's okay, and we can text here and there, that's okay, maybe talk on the phone. But to genuinely be interested in you and what you have to offer, it takes a while for me personally to get there. So a lot of times, I'm not a fan of the dating scene. Like, it's like it takes a while for me to get there, and a lot of times I even lose interest just because we're just not connecting. And how you feel about a situation and how I feel about it, I just can't, I don't like it. Like, a lot of men, I guess, around my age or a little older are a little immature and trying to jump out there and try to date them. It's like, I don't have the time for that because I can see where your mindset is and where my mindset is completely different.
And what's your age?
So how much space is too much space and too little space? Like, how much do you want? How much do you need?
Space. How much do I need? It really just depends on where I'm at.
What you mean? Where you at?
In my
physically, mentally?
Mentally, in my own personal growth, in my own personal journey. Some days I want a lot of attention. Some days I want no attention. Some days I want just check up on me, and that's completely fine.
That's a relationship?
not just relationship.
Does
Even
that-
if
I was
it's
gonna say, but how does
it's
that be in a relationship?
It's
How do
in
you
a
let them
relationship.
make know
in
that
an
you want all
evolving
of that?
relationship, or just in general with friendships and everything.
Okay.
Like some days I would prefer to seclude myself
I
from
get that.
everybody because I just need my own personal
I
space from
definitely get that.
everyone. But no, some days I do need my personal space, and sometimes like I don't want. I have to get up. You have to take. You're grown. You have an adult. You have responsibilities. Yes, I get up. I have to go to work. This and that. But sometimes I just don't. I just want quietness. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you. Give me at least an hour to myself before I can think. That's in terms of like just work.
So how do you
But
feel? How do you
in terms
feel?
of
How do you feel that is fair to a man that you are with? If you're
Right,
dating
so-
or in a
Or
relationship,
how
like,
do you let them know
yeah,
that you need
if,
all of these
yeah,
different things?
if some days you're like, I need my space, some days like, I want
You know
all
what?
of this
Tell 'em.
attention.
That
How do
right
you?
there, I would
How is a
say-
man supposed to understand that without feeling offended or feeling like,
I think it goes
damn,
both
like,
ways.
what does she
On
want?
that after Tier. I got
I would say I think that goes both ways because I feel like as individuals, you have to think of yourself first. A lot of times, I think in the past, as for now, I think I'm trying to address that more. In the past, I never addressed that. I just felt like, leave me alone, and I would that's how I would just say it.
But you can't-
like,
But how
leave me
would a-
alone. But you got to think about it,
person.
another person, how they perceive it. I didn't care about how they perceived it. Just leave me alone. I want to be by myself. Leave me alone.
So you
I
had to
didn't-
check yourself.
I had to think about how I came off sometimes, or what I really wanted. Basically, I just want my alone time. I just need some time to myself just to get how I feel in order, how my mind is thinking. Sometimes my mind just races, and sometimes with you there, I can't just think things through, or I can't just clear. I can't clear my mind. I just can't process some stuff. I need my alone time, and without that, I can get stressed out or I can get frustrated. And it took me a while to actually realize that was the problem. Like me not addressing those issues, it just builds up and it spills over in your relationship and how you love somebody or how you deal with certain people. It's like you're constantly going off. Why am I going off? Because I'm not able to freely express myself or fully deal with my issues by myself.
So in your next relationship, that would definitely be something that you bring up in the talking stage,
Of
right?
course.
That
But
would
would
be
you
like,
want-
well, you
that's
know, in
another
New Orleans,
thing.
I'm like a bitch.
So I'm gonna get to you about the same question, but just because she just said that,
What?
how do you feel? Well, not how do you feel, but what
Addressing
she said
it,
in a next relationship.
or even.
So how do y'all
even
feel
doing
about
the
learning shit from one relationship and applying it to your next? Why weren't you able to get it right in that relationship
Because
you were
in
in?
that relationship, I would say in my past relationships, I never, how I viewed certain issues that came up, or how I viewed a relationship in total. With growth, you realize how you came off, how immature you were, and how you dealt with certain issues in your life. It's like, all right, you coming at me this way. All right, I don't feel like I should have to explain myself. I don't feel like I should do this. But you're not realizing, you're not taking accountability how everyone else feels or how the other person feels in the relationship. You're really just thinking about yourself. It's more of a selfish act. And you have to sometimes step back and think about it. Oh, okay, yes, I am dealing with you. Yes, we are in this together. And I should include you in how I feel. So this is how I feel about a certain topic, and this is how I feel like I should deal with it. I'm letting you know now just so you won't feel offended by what I'm going through. It's just a personal growth, basically.
Okay.
This is how I wake up. This is how you look
Pretty
at
much.
me. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you, but this is how I feel about it right now.
All right, so I'm gonna go to y'all and all that.
For a Libra is, we're balanced. We like justice, so we're equal. You know, our skill has to be equally balanced. It doesn't matter if that shit tipped this way or tipped this way. If we off balance, we're fucked up. And we can, our shit could be smooth, but if our partner is unbalanced, then that might tip our scale. And for me personally, I like my time alone by myself, because for me, I've gone through so much stuff, and even before I even went through stuff, I like time to slow down. And sometimes when it's just me by myself, I can slow my thinking down because I think so much. I'm always worried about my next plan and what I need to do to make sure that shit running smoothly for me, for him, for my son, for whatever. And so I like, whether it's just to take a bath, we call it our sacred space. I need my sacred space, you know? And Jew needs his sacred space. Gemini's are some moody motherfuckers. And Geminis need their fucking time alone. Like, we try like hit a milestone in our relationship in these 2 weeks because, you know, he has his kids every other week. You know, he has his boys from Monday to Monday every other week. But he got a break for a week. So for 2 weeks, me and Liam have been over there. And, you know, you can tell them days when it's like, let me run his ass a bath and put him in the tub by himself and let him kind of get his little sacred time. So it's just like, you know, you have to be able to realize when you need your own sacred space. You need to be able to realize when your partner needs their sacred space, you know, and be respectful of it.
And not judge them for wanting
Definitely.
I think in the past, I've judged, like, you don't want to spend time with me? What you mean you don't want to spend time with me? But that's not even the reason why they doing it. They need it because they need to actually
meditate.
Not even just meditate.
No,
like,
they just need
you need to recuperate.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes everything
Recharge,
going on, you need to recharge. You need to think about everything that's been going on with your own life. Yeah, you have a relationship with that other person, but you have to think about yourself first. And a lot of times in a relationship, we don't think about ourselves. You put so much into the other person. You be like, that's how I feel about it. But when you're doing that, you're basically building up things. It's like it's constantly building up, but it's never getting addressed. So you end up exploding on that person because you honestly just need time to yourself. And it's like that person be like, well, goddamn.
We had to learn that.
That was my next question. How long does it take to get to there? How long
It's no
when do you get there? Because y'all, like, what y'all talking right now, y'all seem like y'all are very in tune with each other's
it's like I said, like it's like a day by day, but it's like even like the other night, like I came home, like I worked both jobs, and I came home.
And y'all, when y'all say home, y'all live in your own home, so y'all still
wherever they at together.
Yeah, y'all stay at each other's homes.
We consider both homes.
Home, okay.
So I came home and you know, whatever, and I was gonna run her a bath, and she was like, "Baby, you wanna come in and talk to me?" I was like, I was kind of gonna roll up and watch YouTube, but I just wanted to, you know, I wanted you to have your own space. And then she was like, "Okay, I understand." And then she was like, "I'll play my place," and it was just like, you know, I just want to do. And then of course when she comes out, I'm like, "All right, hey, come, bring it in." But sometimes, I mean, that's just being in tune, and then again, just being vulnerable to like you said, like you gotta cater to your needs sometimes. Because if you're not giving your best for the other person, like it's gonna come back. It's all a cycle in some type of way. So it's just like if I'm not, you gotta be the best for yourself. For the next, you know what I'm saying, for your partner. So
I gotta pour it to myself.
Like Will said, Will Smith said it best to Jada. You have to be complete and whole and happy and fulfilled yourself in order for you to bring that type of energy to me. And sometimes your own. Yeah, you have to bring yourself first.
You can say
exactly. That's not being selfish to me.
And that's what
sometimes
I feel like,
you have to.
Yeah, sorry. No, that's why I feel like sometimes you have to be alone by yourself first. And you have to learn how to be alone by yourself. Like that's one thing. That's one thing I hate about me. I love to be by myself. I go to the gym by myself. I mean, what's up, Sierra? Yeah, but I like to go to the gym by myself. I love driving by myself on empty roads with no cars. I just love being by myself. So I feel like sometimes with learning how to be by yourself and then also learning how to communicate with the other person definitely like helps with like I just want to be by myself and like this is how I am. Like I just feel like communication does help that in a bit and understand it.
So how do you feel you reach that level of communication without
Pressuring
the other person feeling offended? Like, how do you feel like how you just said, like, I just want to take a bath and watch YouTube and all that? How did you get to the point where y'all say that and how did you get to the point where you don't feel offended by him saying that?
Oh, so the first couple times, right? It was like, okay, bitch.
In the bigger picture.
Oh, you standoffish? Yeah. Nigga, what you want to go in the tub by yourself?
And then just going back to what we was talking about, as far as just like not thinking about it from. Even sometimes I tell her like worst case scenario, I'll be like, babe, you can't just think like boom off bat like the whole world is over. Like think about it like this, and she be like, shit, you right. So it's like so many kind of ways you can think about shit.
A lot of times you don't think about it from
another
person's perspective.
Yeah.
And
And
that
think about it.
Think about it from yourself.
Yeah.
It's like you're
Just
attacking
recently
me. It's
started
like
doing that
shit.
you don't want to spend time with me, but I sit here and spend all my time with you.
Yeah.
What you mean?
So it takes time to
To
get.
learn that you have to
Yeah.
learn that person.
that.
You have to learn that
Yeah.
person's need and how they move. That's in terms of
Yeah.
relationship. That's anything.
And that
That's
goes
everything.
back to like
Any and
how you were
everything.
saying, like being in love, like you gotta want to fuck with somebody that hard to want to commit to that. That's a lot of fucking energy. That's
It
a lot of
is.
time spent.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to do that with every motherfucker, like
Exactly.
legit.
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta be one with yourself. Like, all right, man. Like for me, it was like, look, yeah, like we been solid. Like I got a lot of love. Like I love her. Like I'm feeling the way. Like this is like a year ago. Like I'm like really like it took for a while for me to be like, damn, I'm just like in love with her again. Like for a minute, I was just like not like trying to hear it. I was just like, I mean, I fuck with her. I love her. She know that shit. I'm here for her. But I kind of had to just be like, damn, and just be one with myself and just kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna exhaust this energy. Like I'm gonna put forth this effort because like that effort and that energy, like all that shit ties together because that time and shit you're not gonna get back, and you ain't gonna want to do that
Yeah.
for everybody and shit.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's the main thing.
Yeah, you better not ever give no other bitch no 12 days of Christmas. Crash that motherfucker.
No, that's right.
So we all agreeing that it takes time, you know, like every relationship is gonna have trial and error, and it's gonna seem like it's the end of the relationship, but it takes time to get to that. You just have to take time to learn and understand people. Is what y'all
I think you
saying.
have to be willing to, not
Right.
just say
Yeah,
take
you
time.
can't
You have
just
to be
take time.
willing
You have to be
to
willing
take
to.
that
You
time
have
to
to
want
want to.
that.
That's
And
sacrifice.
willing
Yes.
and want.
But when you're willing to, is it like how do you know? Like just like how you just said, Ju, how you say that like, damn, I'm in love with this girl. Like how did you know that out of all the women that you
He
dated,
said that was a year. What you say? That was only a year ago.
that was a year
Yeah.
ago. So and that was a year ago. Was how long into y'all dating?
A year.
A year. So it's been
So
2 years
2
now.
years.
So how did you know that she was the woman? It's like, damn, like I'm in love. I'm willing to learn her. I'm
'Cause I
willing
was
to
just back
change
in-
certain things about myself.
It was just after a while with just certain stuff. It was just like it was dumb. It was just like I was just doing stuff just to do it, and it was just like I tell her all the time. Like sometimes, like when we argue and we be going about it, I be like, yo, that was like the most wasted energy. Like I say that all the time. I be like, yo, it's just the most wasted energy. Like it's just like I don't want to do that. So it's just like I'd rather have something more meaningful. And I guess that comes with trial and error as you get older, and not even necessarily like you could be 22. Like a year from now, shit, we could be sitting here. You could have somebody that you ready to spend the rest of your life with. But it just come with just being willing to sacrifice and motherfucking just be able to just be vulnerable. It's just like everything we said. It's like a whole fucking egg roll of shit.
I think it's growth.
Legit,
Yeah.
legit,
But a lot
I
of
think-
people aren't willing to be vulnerable.
I think
legit.
the most beautiful thing about life and time is evolving.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Like we are all individually evolving. And whether you are in a relationship or whether you are by yourself, we're learning new things about ourselves. And the real challenge is when you're still learning about yourself, but now you have somebody else that you're learning with. And they're learning themselves. And it's about that patience and that love and that understanding and that sacrifice. Yeah, it's like, it's perseverance. That's what it is. Like, it's like, no matter what the fuck we go through, I know, like, it's about, it's understanding. Like, you're going to fall sometimes because you don't even know who you are fully. Like, I don't know who I am fully. You know what I'm saying? We got to think about our age. We got to think about all the things that we trying to work through, that we've been through. Like, all this shit is what make or break us.
It is.
You know, and you find somebody who want to ride with you through that shit, like, that's love.
Right, it
Like,
is.
that's
It's hard.
love, yeah.
A lot of the stuff.
All right, a lot of this stuff.
A lot of stuff like we can talk about like past relationships that may have been like maybe not the best, and we learned from them too. But you know what I'm saying, you can also take that in hindsight and just like kind of take, you know what I'm saying, kind of mix the good with the bad. Look at your glasses half full, like just a learning curve type thing. Like everything doesn't always have to be like hit or miss. Sometimes it could just be like you said, like a maturation or growing or an evolving thing. Like that's the term we use a lot because shit, some motherfuckers don't even know who the fuck they are, or they don't even know what they want. A lot of people try to figure out who they want to be with. They don't even have a sense of idea of
At
who
the
they
age we
are.
are now.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
People
just like,
still don't know.
you know what I'm saying?
And it's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay.
It's
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? It's okay.
You know, but
Being one and being vulnerable with yourself and just kind of evolving with yourself so you can evolve with somebody else, I think that's major. I think that's
And
major.
so a lot of people, I think, in terms of not just relationship, just in individuality, people need to really take the time out to try to figure out their wants and their needs before trying to hop into a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah.
Correct.
Try to
Because
complete yourself
Basically,
first.
you need to try to figure out what you. Yeah, it's okay to have.
But
a
what
person
if you
there.
don't get to that point? What if you meet the person that you think that you want to be with
That's fine.
before really figuring out yourself?
You need to have a partner. I say you need
Yeah, you don't
to,
need to
but
think
you
about
should want to have a partner who's willing to grow with you.
Yeah.
I am here right now. When I first met you,
Okay.
I was there. I was a fucking mess. But today, where I'm at right now, I'm on cloud 9. If you can't help me, not even help me, if you can't support me,
I was about to say it's support.
Yeah.
support me or sit there and cheer me on from a
That
fucking
point,
mess to
yeah.
cloud 9, then you shouldn't probably be, you shouldn't be with me.
I love that.
Because I'm
That's
growing
what
every
I
day.
love
Every
it.
day I'm a different person because I am constantly growing. Every day I'm constantly trying to figure out new ways to make myself happy. I can't make you happy if I can't make me happy. I can't support you if I can't fully support myself. I really cannot pour into your cup if I cannot pour into my own. If my cup is fucking empty, what am I pouring into your cup? Air?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That shit will disappear fast and we both going down.
But you know what, to piggyback off that though, like I love that. Like I love what you just said because, you know, before I lost my parents, you know, I would say I was complete. I was fulfilled, you know. I was living my life. I had my own spot. I was cool. I was chilling, you know. I moved back home to save for a house, you know, and then in the process my parents passed. I got pregnant, you know, and when my parents passed, a whole lot of me passed. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of me like died away. Yeah, and it's like the two most important. Like you could be in a room of 1 million people, 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying? And they showing you love, and they're trying to fulfill you and complete you. But when those two most important people of your life is like gone, like you are still incomplete. Like there's no happiness that will surround you.
It's like,
And
who
it's
am I?
like, it's like, so I went from fulfilled to like empty to broken to lost, you know what I'm saying? And that reflected in me and his relationship. Like him saying like this time last year we were at war, you know what I'm saying, about to bring our kid in. And that was because a large part of that was because I was not happy. A lot of our strain last year, I can honestly say, was like because I was fucked up. Like my trust was fucked up. You know, I was angry. I was fucking bitter. Like it was so many things that just like was negative energy that was just surrounding me. And I think that's why it's not even I think, but that's why I love him so much because even through that part of me, like not knowing who I was all over again and like not being complete, like he went through everything with me.
Yeah.
Like even when he called me out on my shit and he told me like you're broken, you need to try to see a therapist. Like people would be offended off shit like that, but he was telling me like real shit. Like you need
Because
to
he
try
loves
to
you.
find yourself again. You need to try to find your way back because this is not the law that I know. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I love him so much because people it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to quit and to say fuck it. But it's those people who still ride with you when you down in the gutter through the trenches that make everything more worthwhile. And it's like now it's like I'm happier. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm lighter. I say that's my term. I'm lighter.
I like
Like
that.
I feel light. You know what I'm saying? And he was a big part of that because he didn't leave me when shit was heavy.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you put a lot of strain on your relationship by expecting him to be what you didn't have at the moment?
Absolutely.
You expected him to have the love that you couldn't give yourself.
Absolutely. And I think I just had I had a lot of expectations out of him. Relationship wise, father wise, like I put a whole lot of pressure on him
Even though it was your
unnecessarily,
pressure.
even though it was the shit that I was just going through, you know. So I'm sorry for that.
I think in a lot of times with with women who aren't, not even just women, with men, with in relationships, we do that. We put a lot of pressure on our partners to be our everything because we're not fully there for ourselves. So we expect that from you. We expect you to, I feel like shit today. I want you to make me feel better, but you feel like shit. So who makes you feel better? If I can't make myself feel better, who's going to make you feel better? And I expect you to make me feel better. I'm like straining the relationship times 10 because I want everything from you, but I cannot give you anything.
And sadly, that affects the black male community as a whole.
It does.
That affects the black male
It
community
does.
as a whole because
What exactly are you saying? What?
we expect for the man to uplift us, but who is uplifting the man?
Yeah, it is. Like we can't.
We expected for the man to build us up and to make sure that we good, but who building him up? Who making sure that he good? Who wiping his tears because they got tears too?
Who been there showing it?
Society puts that pressure on the man. Like you gotta be strong. You gotta do this. You gotta be able to take care of your home. You gotta take care of your wife. And you can't cry. You can't do this. They put so much pressure on the man. So
in black society, we take that pressure of a man too literal. I mean that masculinity of a man too literal. Sorry. We want you to be the manly man. We want you to take care of the house. We want you to make sure all our financial needs are met.
And emotional
needs are met. Sorry.
And if you don't meet it, we emasculate you.
We
Black woman will emasculate you.
Yeah, you a bitch. Oh, you this. Oh, you that.
You're shit because you cannot give that to me. But in actuality, we're not thinking of how you're dealing with this world of a society that's constantly here, that's beating you down everywhere you go. You can't ride up and down the street. You can't ride up and down the street without being scared for your life, or scared of being pulled over, or scared of being threatened, or anything, or from a white police officer, or fucking anybody who's out here to get you just because you're a black man. A lot of black women, they fail to realize that it's like you put so much pressure on the black man, on a black man's back, that you fail to realize they have feelings. They are people too. They have needs. They are constantly breaking. They are constantly trying to hold in a tear. They're constantly holding in everything, and they can't properly release. They expect to go home, and they behind closed doors. They hiding behind closed doors. They're crying, this and that. They're releasing. They're breaking, like literally breaking into pieces. And who's there to pick those pieces up? And then when they come out, they come back like, oh, I'm put together. But in actuality, they aren't. They're still breaking.
But they want to put on that strong face for you. They gotta act strong.
They do have to, and it's like nobody is. That's why it's mental issues, like mental health issues, are so high in the black community because nobody sit there and thinks about. They don't. They don't address them. They don't think about it. It's like, okay, the man is expected to be strong. They're expected to be the provider for the household. They're expected to be everything for their family. In actuality, they need help sometimes. And it's okay. And it's okay for a man to be vulnerable and for them to show feelings or anything. To even cry. That is okay. And a lot of times, and I think more so now, people are coming around, a lot of black women are coming around to, like, it's okay for a man to be vulnerable. It really is. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with a man crying.
I think that's why with me and Drew, I be like, how you feel? What's wrong?
So you always ask him how he feels.
Man, I ask him what's wrong. I would ask him what's wrong like 5-10 times in a row.
So is he one of them people that when you ask what's wrong, like how you feel when people you ask what's wrong when they nothing? When you know it, you know that it's something wrong.
He'll tell me, he'll be like, I'm good, I'm straight. But his energy, I can read his. At this point, I can feel his energy.
So you stay at it like, nah, tell me what's wrong.
His energy is felt through FaceTime, through a motherfucking text message. Like
you can feel
strong. So I can ask him like, what's wrong, and he'll tell me 5 times that nothing is wrong, and then finally he'll tell me like something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's important, like being able to allow your man that space to express themselves. You know, because they got shit on their shoulders. They at work, they got shit they need to get off their shoulders, shit off their chest, and like so many times we want to get everything off our chest and be selfish, but you cannot be selfish. Like, a relationship is not being selfish. It's being selfless. Like, that shit is just so important because if his shit bottled up, and he explode and he take that shit elsewhere, that shit could really boil down to some life or death type shit. You know what I'm saying? He stressed, he can't make the money that he need to, but he can't come to you as a woman because he trying to provide for you. So now he out in the street, he out here robbing and killing and stealing. Like, that shit has been seen way too much in the black community. And nobody is like really trying to like work on that shit or talk about it. It's like unspoken things. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality of our community.
You're so right in all that, actually. I think the black man is next to the black woman. The black woman is expected, we're always considered angry, or how we come off is considered aggressive, or just all of that nature. Basically, we can't freely express ourselves. It's somewhat, you expect the black man, you can freely express yourself to the man that you're with, or the black man in general, and they can tell you how you feel, but they don't have anyone to speak to. But say, for instance, just a regular general conversation with a black woman, it comes off as aggressive, or you're constantly being told you're being too aggressive. You're being...
Why you don't smile?
Huh?
Smile, sweetheart.
Exactly.
Sweetheart, what you mad for?
Why you smile? Why is it so wrong? Why is it so wrong for me to just feel and not be... I don't want to be bothered with you. It's like, okay, let me just feel how I'm going to feel. Just because I talk with passion in my voice does not mean I'm trying to offend you, or does not mean I'm trying to attack you. I'm literally just speaking. I feel so passionate about how I'm speaking because I'm saying it. This is literally how I feel. I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm not trying to belittle you. I'm not trying to discredit you from anything that you're doing. This is literally how I feel about the situation. Let me say it without you attacking me, telling me I'm wrong for how I feel. Telling you I'm wrong for how the tone of my voice, or because I'm passionate about how I feel about it. Like, please stop that.
Yes.
Like,
So,
And the gay black
wait, let me hear.
Okay, because Jesus.
But sometimes that does come with you have to understand that some cultures and some religions are not like that. Like, some people are not used to you speaking loud. Like, like with like actually Africans, some of them just tend to speak loud, and we're just like, why are you yelling? But that's just how they are.
How they speak.
You have to like kind of understand like how they are versus how you are. Like culture,
But still we have a
stereotype. We have a black man. So everything that everybody is saying, we have a black man in the space. So how do you feel about everything that is being said right now?
I definitely understand a lot of it. A lot. Black man, well, me as a black man, it is a lot of pressure on us to do a lot of things, and a lot of stuff that we're put under pressure to do, especially in a relationship. Like, I don't think women or partners really understand, like, as a black man, it's like some stuff that we're not really taught. Certain stuff, you know what I'm saying, you could have Big Mama teach you how to make her sweet potato pie recipe, and it's like, you do this, and it's gonna be like this. Boom. Other shit you live and learn was other shit that is just, like you said, like, as a man, you expected to honor your woman. You expected to be truthful. You expected to value her. You expected to communicate with her. A lot of solid brothers want to do that, but they ain't have no man in their house to really give them a good example of that. Or they ain't really, you know what I'm saying, have a foundation or anything really to guide them and show them, like, this is how you do it. Like, and you know what I'm saying, that goes back to what I was like, to what we were saying. Like, it don't necessarily mean your situation has to be what it becomes. Is all what you make it, but that has a lot to do with you knowing what you want, and that could take time in itself, years. Some people never fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? So, but as a black man, it's a lot of pressure out here, and I know the one thing I talk to her about, I communicate with her about, is like the power of our words. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of stuff that us black men, we harbor, because, we do gotta be hard. We gotta be like the survivors, the hustlers. Like, we gotta be like the big brothers. Like, we gotta be like that force. You know what I'm saying? Because we're looked at under certain, perspectives as this, but we're trying to show them that we're not. So, like, you know what I'm saying, going against, sometimes we go against our own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to try to prove that we're not what society's trying to make us like. So it's like a whole barrier. And me having 4 boys and like I got 4 different personalities, it's like I can tell right now my 9-year-old, I gotta talk to him like a certain way, but my 4-year-old, I'm like, yo, I know when he get, I'm be like, look, nigga, like, he gonna be like, all right, Pop, yeah, I got you, but I can't do that. Like, it's like a constant, like a learning thing, and like with that, again goes to wanting to be willing to put time and effort into trying to evolve, because like a lot of the merits in life is just like what you do with it. Like you can be conscious of a lot of shit, and you can be conscious of it and not do shit about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of just like what you want to do. If you want to make the best out of it, or you just want to, you know what I'm saying, just cruise and just let it be what it is. But I mean, as a black man out here, like shit, we definitely need like the support of our sisters for sure, but our significant others, like that is a whole nother energy. Like you need that. And I told her, like, one of the things, like when we didn't get like official, like I told her, like, nigga, like the one main word I use is like, I need, like, as a Gemini, like I need that security. Like I need to know, like, look, I need that insurance. Like we gonna beef, but tomorrow we, you know what I'm saying, like we still together. Like I don't need no makeup to break up, because after a while that shit get old. Like you don't want to deal with the same old shit. You want to know you got something solid, because that time and shit you can't get back. So as a black man, like it's kind of tough, and it's just like, even with me, like I'm still learning this shit. Like it's shit that my dad didn't really teach me. Not saying that, you know what I'm saying, he didn't teach me things, but shit, I mean, maybe he wasn't conscious. My dad, when I got older, he was vulnerable to me, letting me know, like, you know, my dad, you know what I'm saying, same way you were saying, like, how y'all, you know you love him. Like, you don't necessarily got to say it every day. You know what I'm saying? But you know. My father, he was like, man, you know what I'm saying, my dad's way of showing me he loved me was putting food on my table. You know what I'm saying? He'd whoop my ass when I fuck up, but he'd come slap me on my shoulder, and that's how I knew. But with me, I didn't really learn how to do that with you and your sister until I got older. So it's a give or take, and that's shit. He told me that like 10 years ago. I was 21 then. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like every day is an evolution in some type of way, and it's what you want to make out of it. But I think like that self-reflecting and shit, I think that definitely weighs in on like as far as what you want to do with your time and energy and shit, especially if it's somebody you want to build with.
Okay. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. It's been real. But if it's, I just want to ask one last question. If it's one word we want to use for everything that we talked about today, like what would be the word?
Selflessness.
Selflessness.
Yeah.
All right, so we got selflessness. Perseverance.
I would say growth.
Growth.
Because without it, you can't move on. You can't learn anything from your mistakes without growing. You can't look at your past and evolving. You know what?
You gotta want
there
to
you go.
sacrifice and shit. So that all
Sacrifice.
comes together.
I'll say evolving. That's
Evolving.
I
perfect.
like that.
Title of YouTube is the word of the night.
The word.
Word of the
throwing it
night.
out there.
All right, excuse me. Word of the night. All right, so we got perseverance, we got selflessness, we got evolving. What else did we say?
Growth.
You said growth,
Yeah,
but that's
growth.
evolving.
All right.
Maturation.
Maturation. All right.
Ooh.
Maturation. All
I'm
right.
trying to spell it in my head.
That's that PG
Alright.
education.
Well, that was the
PG.
PG definition.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this up. I mean, this is the first episode of Sipz Spillz, and I thank all of y'all for being here and contributing, all of your experiences and everything that you've learned to this first episode. I really appreciate y'all more than you probably know. And, yeah, I'm going to see y'all. I may see y'all next week. Yeah. So we're going to end this.
Make the style your face.